Jay, I'm not gonna lie to you. This has been one of those weeks where, uh, you know, people are getting exposed left and right. Um, and I think we called it a month ago. I'm not gonna lie. Everything you're seeing happen in Uvalde, Texas,
Hmm.
sort of speaks to that. And I actually didn't get my tinfoil hat ready because I don't need it because everything we said was true. Right,
I know,
Jay?
like this right here is not a tinfoil hat. This is a truth hat.
It's a
This
truthy
is
hat.
this is a hat that becomes true in 2 months.
That's right. It's a truth social hat,
That's what it is.
right? So, I mean, more and more we're hearing about. Let's just like highlight it because I have this shit right here.
Stop
Um,
picking.
oh, sorry. Thank you.
You're welcome,
Did
Habibi.
you
I got you.
did Emily tell you that I should stop doing it?
No, I got you. I got
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. You're just like my wife, except you actually except you actually touch me.
Oh shit! It's
True.
all good, Habibi. 100%.
So this is the Texas Tribune. Um, tweeting out law enforcement officers are shown on video inside of Valdes Robb Elementary School at 12:04 p.m. on May 24th. They have guns, they have shields. Police did not enter the classroom where the shooter was for another 46 minutes.
They
Okay.
have full body armor. I mean,
Look at that.
holy
Helmets.
fuck! They
Helmets
were
and everything.
stopping they were stopping mothers and fathers who had nothing. They were
They were,
stopping women who had nothing, who had more balls than these motherfuckers did to go rush in.
yeah, who was the there was a teacher who was shot and called her husband. Um and was dying, and he basically so an Uvalde officer and husband of slain teacher detained when he tried to save his wife um, because she died in the shooting. He was stopped by other law enforcement officials, and he had a firearm on him, and basically was completely derailed and halted from ever going even. They took his gun away and or escorted him off the scene. It's just one of those things that makes you more and more angry. At that point, Jay, it was look. I don't know what the reports were on where the what's it called? Did my internet go out?
No, Rumble, I think Rumble's down.
Oh, great! Just in time,
That's
Jay.
yeah, Rumble's down. I was actually just chatting going to send it to the private chat that if Rumble is down, and I'm trying to refresh it. It's up. It's back up.
Ah, that's what she said.
That's what she said. Rumble, yeah, Rumble's back up. Sorry guys. Yeah, because honestly, it could have been one or the other. It could have been our internet or theirs. But I'm really glad that since you started over there, you've been making some really good strides in getting them to get onto the Pakistani internet.
Jay, I've just been telling them time and time again that you're not doing a good job unless your internet kicks out of underneath you.
Absolutely.
Dan West Pizza says Uvalde PD Habibi group chat straight to jail epic handshake meme. What?
Yeah, like OMG, FMAL, and all that kind of stuff. Absolutely. But no, as we were going before, we were distracted with the Rumble stuff. Is yeah, it's really just sad. Every new aspect of information that's been coming out on the Uvalde shooting is just absolutely heartbreaking. There was a
Well,
lot of things that could have happened to save lives, and it was a failure on every level.
oh yeah, 100%. And the worst part about it is that the more information that comes out, the more it sounds like um and again, this is the hunch is that whoever gave them the stand down order, it's looking more and more like it was the feds who did. And um the only question I have is why.
No, that the feds didn't do anything because they don't do anything ever. I mean, what
No,
are
but
the only thing they did?
literally on the same week that this all happened, the Feds stopped an ISIS terrorist from assassinating George W. Bush. Don't tell me the Feds don't do anything. Of course they do
Well,
stuff.
yeah, they planned these assassinations and then thwart them for us to believe that they are actually fucking useful and shit. Just like when they arrested all those what were they called? Freedom Patriots or whatever?
Patriot Front,
Yeah, Patriot Front. They arrested all those Patriot Front guys from
only Feds.
thwarting the other thing. And you know what's really funny? How come they weren't able to catch the would be assassin of Brett Kavanaugh? Why did it have to be his security? They were so good at thwarting, kidnapping and all that kind of stuff going one way, but when this happened, they had no idea about it.
Yeah, a lot of it just doesn't make sense. And again, only two possibilities really: massive incompetence or something far more nefarious. And it sounds like that the way things are going since with this new red flag gun law that's gaining steam that 14 Senate Republicans have voted in favor of. Basically, I don't know if people want to call it a gun grab, but I'm pretty sure it's a gun grab.
Yeah, it is. It is it's a pretty disgusting way to put in a gun grab because just like what they were trying to do in gun control after Columbine is that they were doing the same thing with Uvalde and
Yeah, Sandy Hook, yeah.
throwing dead bodies around for us to be able to just give up our shit when in reality what needs to start happening is we need to start having authority figures being held responsible for their fucking incompetence and when they fucking fail. We don't have that.
I mean, you
We
can
still
literally pass all the laws in the world, but if you have a police force that does nothing to enforce it, they're literally called law enforcement officers, in which they literally are supposed to enforce the law. If you don't enforce the law, that's a dereliction of your duty and the oath that you basically took to protect and serve your community. At that point, why are you even a police officer? So if you want to look at like what happened during 9/11, obviously 9/11 was an issue of like massive government incompetence paired with partisan politics, paired with basically a terrorist group operating under the radar and basically getting on the radar of all these intelligence agencies, and then the Fed's not doing anything about it.
well also I mean to be fair, 9/11 they had help from the person in the White House, so it was kind of hard
Yeah,
for
I mean
that.
they
Yeah.
were orchestrated by Bush. Let's never forget
Yeah.
that.
And another thing, like these
This one. Okay.
these red flag laws and Harrisville villain over on the chat saying it's going to be stop and frisk on steroids. And honestly, I think that's exactly what it's going to be. You're going to have false accusations being thrown around, people using these things just to go after their opponents or people they just don't like, and it's really unless. And have any of us read what's really in it? Have any of us read exactly what's going to happen with these? How it's going to be used? How it's going to be monitored? How it's going to be enforced? How if people falsely accuse other people, like how they're going to be the ones in trouble? How somebody who's going to be on a red flag list, how is he going to work his way to get out of it? How are we going to just say and put a list on somebody and label somebody as guilty and force them to prove themselves to get out of it? That's not what the law is intended for,
bro. It doesn't. That's not the laws intended for. And literally every single time something bad happens, Congress comes out with a new law that's supposed to address a problem. It's supposed to address the problem that just happened, and it almost never does. It almost never does, Jay.
Nope.
All it does
It
is, like you
doesn't.
said, gives more power to the federal government, allows them to act with impunity, and they're not held accountable by anything. Instead, what we're seeing happen right now in Uvalde is you have the police chief, at least for the Uvalde school district, being placed on administrative leave, and that's supposed to be what? Is that supposed to be it? Like, is that the only head that's going to roll? Is
And
that even?
it looks like it. But I mean, and it, I think everybody in that picture that we saw that had all that armor and everything and stood there for 50 fucking minutes and did nothing, they all should lose their fucking jobs as well. Every one of them should lose their badge, not be police officers anymore. And I mean, holy fuck! The biggest heroes in that case the biggest hero was a border patrol officer that just happened to be there.
Yeah, and again, like, that's one of those things where, who was calling the shots? Who was calling the shots? Was it Border Patrol? Was it another aspect of, was it the higher ups at DHS? Was it the FBI? More shit is gonna eventually come to light, but by that time it's gonna be far too late to do anything about it, and we'll basically have already basically given up all of our, more of our rights and more of our control to the government. Josh G says, how many armed shootouts is this going to lead to when the cops come to collect the weapons in the no-knock raid? Breonna Taylor, killed in a no-knock raid. If this doesn't turn you into, if this doesn't red pill you and radicalize you, I don't know what will.
Well, I mean, more than just red pill, but even black pill.
Even black pill, yeah.
When you hear stuff like this, I mean, more and more people, and
I guess
especially
black pill
more
is
and
probably
more
better, Jay, because
conservatives
I guess
and
black pill
people.
is, yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say this is awakening more and more people to be against, like, wholeheartedly supporting the police. You're seeing more and more conservatives come to the realization that these people are given authority to trample all over your fucking rights. They're supposed to be answering to you, protecting you, doing all of this stuff for you. But instead, what do? Instead of going after, like, the real fucking crimes and everything, they're killing people for selling cigarettes on the street. They're fucking going after people who have concealed carry in their car and shooting them. They're fucking letting kids just be killed in schools. They're stopping people for going 5 miles over the fucking speed limit. It is, and yes, it's a hard job. Yes, there's a lot of things that go, but we have given too much, and we have been empathizing too much to the police. They work for us. At the end of the day, they're supposed to protect us, and
Right.
too many times we see them abuse this power, nothing happening to them, and them getting away with it.
I think one thing that's obviously been very fascinating in all of this is just where people's priorities lie, and particularly in the sense that you have many liberals, particularly gun control advocates, say that they're in favor of such a law. We just have too many guns on the street, too many shootings. Look, guns were never the problem, Jay. Guns are just a tool to kill. Prior to, like, the very first school shooting I had heard about was in 1999. Okay. There was apparently an assault weapons ban in 1994 that was in place for 10 years and basically extended all the way till 2004. So that shooting happened in the middle of an assault weapons ban that was passed by both chambers of Congress and signed into law by then President Bill Clinton. And all I have to say is the reason they're focusing on guns is because, as we said before, it's a matter of control. They can't impose all of these crazy restrictions on you. They can't take your kids away. They can't take your kids away from you. They can't indoctrinate them. They can't, seize your property or your land or any of your assets. If you didn't have any guns, I'm telling you, if they took away all our guns, they could do that shit tomorrow.
They do have a lot of that power still, but guns does thwart a lot of it. I do believe it, and having more guns in the hands of citizens than there are people is, I think, a very good thing, and I think we should have it. But there's the reason why they don't want to go into the real issue is because it's going to take a lot of work, and it's going to be very unpopular to talk about young men's health, mental health specifically. They don't want to talk about it. Nobody wants to bring up the issue of men's health and mental health, because what do a lot of these people have in common? They're all young men. They're all they all have social anxiety issues. They have social issues. They have, issues that could be really helped with therapy, with talking to somebody, with actually telling them that they actually should open up and talk to people and see what's going on. And you see the signs happen over and over again. Yeah. But instead of wanting to actually put the work into it, no, they want to steal your tax dollars, not give a shit about that, and then take your rights away. That's what government is all good for. All of it is what governments are good for. And another thing, and Josh G also brings it, is that also broken homes do ruin kids. Broken homes are one of the worst things to happen to men. And if you don't have a good father figure or a good idol to look up to, or a good way to not just idolize, but also try to emulate, you're not going to grow up well. You really aren't. If your surrounding is nothing but, your mother getting beaten, or your mother sleeping around, or, drugs everywhere, or gang banging, or any of this type of stuff, you think that impressionable kid is really going to grow up and be healthy? I mean, yes, a lot of kids do grow out of it, but this is already a negative on them.